It's a shame that his run did end there in that group stage for StarDuck, but again, it was his first time competing. It was his first time in a DreamHack, so that was amazing in and of itself. And now we'll see if he can kind of ride that high. Like he just had an insane season in DreamHack. Can that translate over to ANZ Champs Season 2?
Well, he has been playing a lot of Kerrigan Survival.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I
it's a bad thing, Yaku. It's a bad thing, okay? Stop encouraging him. Oh my god.
That we shall figure out.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he's gonna either prove or disprove the theory to us here on 2000 Atmospheres LE. We're in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have the red Protoss player coming out all the way for the land of Sydney Aba. He is going to be representing our very own CranKy Ducklings as he soars through the skies. I am, of course, talking about StarDuck.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the Australian Zurich player. He is green, representing Team Opus V. It is Peppy. Oh boy, and I'm both excited and very nervous about this series.
You're trying to... Either way, it's a lose-lose situation for you, isn't it? Because if StarDuck loses, then you have to yell at him and take away the Kerrigan Survival 2. If he wins, then you have to admit that the Kerrigan Survival 2 was beneficial.
I'm yelling at him regardless of what happens. That's what I don't know what you're on about, man. Regardless of what happens,
mode of light.
Yeah, we're gonna sit down, StarDuck, and we're gonna have a bit of a chat about how he's been practicing, quote unquote, practicing for ANZ Champs with nothing but arcade games. Shaking my head.
It's gonna be a friendly chat. I tried to crack my knuckles to make it for a bit, but it didn't get picked up, I don't think.
Shaking my head. But of course, regardless, like again, StarDuck, I'm sure a lot of his skill has been retained. Even though he's been memeing a lot that he's been playing a lot of arcade games, he has been laddering, not as much as I would like, but he has been laddering enough to keep in shape.
Well, yeah. And from what I understand, he's mostly been playing arcade games just because IRL commitments have been kind of screwing him a little bit when it comes to competing and whatnot. So yeah, just a way to unwind.
Yeah, he has been very busy with his own studies, trying to correct his sleep schedule. And what I will say as well is that he has been watching a lot of StarCraft, a lot of GSL, a lot of these other online events.
He's been watching so much StarCraft that he actually missed events to watch.
He did. Oh my god.
Other events.
Again. He's being yelled at after this, regardless of what happens. God damn it, StarDuck. Oh, God. But we'll see. We'll see how he does here. As, again, this is just how he plays out. This matchup specifically, he is going for that Stargate opening. And now it's starting to come back to me, Yaku. It's starting to come back to me. These players were in the same group in ANZ Champs. And this was one that went all the way to the ace match that Peppy edged out in Season 1.
That he did. I believe the first two games actually didn't, to my memory anyway, this was a while ago, and that was a period where every single StarCraft event just blended together. But from what I remember in that series, the first two games were kind of one-sided. The first one in the favor of Peppy, the second one in the favor of StarDuck. The last game, though, that was on a knife's edge.
I will never forget Jagannatha. So it was game one where StarDuck won very handily with the Sky Toss, right? It was just very cut and dry. But then after that, Peppy went for some very interesting all-ins. And it was on Jagannatha where he went for a Ling Bane all-in. But it was a really weird, wonky timing with slow Banes and like...
StarDuck almost held.
Yeah, he almost held regardless, but he just barely couldn't. The Lings flooded in, everything was on fire. Like, oh god, it was for me casting it was a heartbreaking moment. but I'm sure that StarDuck has since then learned from that. At the same time, Peppy, I know he's also been taking practice very seriously. He has been laddering very hard, so I would assume that he would adapt to this Skytoss meta a little bit better.
We shall see. I think that was kind of the story in the last season of ANZ Champs, that a lot of these players who were very active in years gone by, but then took a bit of a hiatus, semi-retiring somewhat, came back and were very much reinvigorated. I'm very glad that they've stuck on, and you know, that competitive spirit has sort of been reignited in them. They want to continue being active here in the scene.
Exactly. Like, yo, shout out to Mighty Kiwi. He was in the chat, right? It's great to see him here, even though he isn't competing today. He still wants to tune in, wants to see, you know, how everyone else is looking, if you will. And, oh boy, Peppy and StarDuck, these are already like two of some of the best in the region facing off. And this encounter attack, honestly, dealing a decent amount of damage, was able to pick off a sentry.
Yeah, that's actually pretty huge here. You want as many force fields as possible, especially when your opponent is going as Ling heavy as Peppy is. That is +1 melee about to be finished up.
Yeah.
He is not going to get a Hydra anytime soon. Anytime soon, is he?
Mate, the Lings are coming across the map. The Queen March is upon us. Meanwhile, the Oracle comes in, but I think StarDuck hasn't quite seen this yet, and I'm concerned. StarDuck, he's going to charge lots, which is great, but it's not ready yet.
Yeah, he definitely needs a ton of them. Now, charge lots, they can trade very well against Lings, assuming he fights in choke point. Doesn't want to get surrounded at all. But even then, with +1 Lings, there's still a lot that Peppy can pull off.
Yeah, I think we'll see what happens here, because immediately StarDuck, he recalls. He did scout the army coming across the map. The Queens are still not a part of this. They still have to waddle quite a ways to start adding their DPS to this third base. I don't know if StarDuck can really hold on to it, but he has a really nice position with his sentries and his zealots.
Which is exactly why Peppy decides not to mess with that. Okay, now he has enough supply, and he's splitting up his armies. He has enough to surround his Nexus. The Void Ray will fall. Just barely out of range of that battery overcharge.
Yeah, exactly. The Void Ray falls, the Nexus will fall as well. At the same time, the Lings are breaking through into the natural base. We did have a bit of a warping of Zealots, but again, this third base will go down.
The Zealots were actually trading decently well until some of the buildings fell, and Peppy was able to get such a good surround on all of them. The Lings keep coming, and they don't stop coming. He finished that Baneling Nest a while ago. I am not convinced Peppy's going to need it. Look at how much destruction the +1 Lings are already causing.
Yeah, exactly. The Zealots are falling, and the Lings flood on in. The wall is no longer a wall. We have an Archon being morphed in. Like, again, StarDuck, he was getting ready for that 3-base economy, but he couldn't pull it off, and GG gets called.
Oh, wow. That was brutal. No health punches here from the side of Peppy. Immediate Ling flood with +1, and StarDuck very much caught with his pants down. It kind of feels like Peppy has very much, what's the word I'm thinking of here? Not uncovered. Figured out. It's similar to figured out, but yeah, kind of has figured out the style that StarDuck likes to play. This very Stargate heavy style, and he knows that right in the early mid game, while StarDuck is transitioning, that is when he's most vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, we always bring this up. It's something that we talk about a lot when it comes to StarDuck, is that sometimes, or usually, what kills him is the lack of information for StarDuck, right? It's the lack of scouting. It's figuring out, hey, your drone count is looking a little bit low. Hey, you know, I don't see any tech. Your gases haven't been taken. You know, we have a massive Ling Queen flood coming across the map. These are things that it took StarDuck a while to really piece together. And when he finally did see it, like, it was kind of too late.
Yeah, too little, too late there. But that was game number 1. We are getting into game number 2 here.
We are. The lobby has been made. We are diving into this. This is going to be game number 2 of this series. Oh, personally, I would love this to at least go all the way to the ace match. Regardless of what happens here, of course, there is a lower bracket. There's a bit of that, you know, cushion for these players to fall back on.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of opportunities to qualify. Again, just like the last season, 4 invitees, 6 qualified spots per qualifier. And this isn't the only one. We got another one coming up next week.
True. That we do. That we do. as we're letting them know that we're ready, we're good to go. Map has been set, it is going to be on Oxide, and oh boy, we'll see how this turns out. I love a shout out as well. Pez is here in the chat.
Paco? Hello? The viewers don't notice, but Paco might join the party for some reason.
Shaking my head. He was messaging me.
We were cast.
Yeah, he was messaging me earlier.
It's sentimental.
Yep, Sentimental Latino is currently going on, and Paco is competing in that. And I think he thought that we were casting it, which we normally are. We didn't get to talk about it. Normally at this time, we're live casting Sentimental Latino. Instead, there's no English cast for that. We are instead covering ANZ Champs.
Yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate, but qualifiers do take precedence.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of precedents, we are loading into Oxide LE, the land of presidents? Question mark? They got a brief. In the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player coming all the way down from the land of Sydney Abba. He is going to be representing our very own clan, the CranKy Ducklings, our very own team, as well as the Kerrigan Survival Gang. He is StarDuck.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Australian Zerg player. He is green, representing Team Opus V. Already up 1-0 in this best of 3. It is Peppy.
Oh. Dude. And Paz is here pointing out in the chat that it was a 35 drone Queen Ling attack. I think what we're learning here from the two series that we've had so far, a ZVT and a ZVP, just unbind your D key, honestly.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
It is nothing but trouble.
You don't need it, mate. You don't need it. And that's kind of what I expected from Peppy. I mean, let's be real here. A lot of these Zerg players, they don't want to go into the late game, even the mid game against a Protoss. You know, it's it can be scary. You want to try and end it early.
I can actually hear the PTSD and the experience in your voice. You're like, it is scary. Tell us more, like, as a Zerg player.
It's terrifying. Like, I have a lot of respect for the Zerg players that do, you know, go to that late game. You know, Ryu, he's one of the Ducklings that does that quite often. But, you know, Oreos, Peppy, Chase, you know, they just want to end it, mate. Meanwhile, oh my god, massive shout out to an anonymous gifter. I was trying to figure out who it was for the 5 gifted subs. I
gotta be entirely honest, I thought that was your username.
Maybe it is. I don't know. Thank you so much, whoever just gifted all those subs. We appreciate the support.
Indeed, we do. We would quack for you, but we don't know who you are.
Unless your name is anonymous gifter.
In which case,
Thank you so much. As we're getting into this game, and once again, StarDuck, you know, same opener as previously, he is going for a Stargate. Meanwhile, Peppy making quite a large number of wings. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, he's going for it, man. He's sending it.
With the drones too? Is this is this a solar strat?
Oh my god.
But with multiple drones?
StarDuck.
It has been a long time since we've seen this.
He needs to wall off. He needs to wall off behind his adepts. The drones are coming in, and StarDuck, he doesn't see. He doesn't know
they are. Oh, the mineral walk has been able to overtake the body block. The probes have started to fight with the drones, but Peppy has got Ling support. More Lings have started to flood in, and that is such a beautiful surround on top of that pylon. That was a kill too, and not a cancel. Peppy is absolutely merciless this series.
Meanwhile, the Oracle does come out just barely in time. It was an Oracle opening, not a Void Ray. The Oracle will be able to clean a couple of these Lings up, but the problem is that the Oracle is running out of energy.
It very much is. It's barely been able to clean up here. Both players losing the same amount of workers. Peppy a bit behind, but now Peppy has... To say he has map control is a bit of an understatement. There is absolutely no way for starting to move across the map right now, especially with this Oracle with having as little energy as it does.
Yeah, and Peppy, I think there may have been a moment there where maybe he was trying to kill his opponent, but now he is droning up. He's dealt the damage that he needed to, I guess. It's hard to say. Like, he's in a really bad position, and I'm just surprised that he's droning up right now. He's even taking a third.
Oh, he does have a bit of an opportunity to do so. Will have to be very careful about his anti-air situation back at home. He needs the queens in the best positions possible. Doesn't have a lot of spore crawlers, and this can really be where StarDuck comes back. He's already got a comfortable lead.
Yeah, a very comfortable lead, and that lead is going to get even larger because 2 oracles come in. They one-shot so many of these drones. As you were saying, there were no spores at all.
The oracles are even surviving here. Yeah. I'm getting very, very low, but StarDuck, he knows just how important these oracles are to his survival this game. Yeah, what's going to keep Kerrigan alive?
It's how she's gonna survive, mate. As oh god, StarDuck, sure, his third base was forced to be canceled, but a 2-base Protoss against a 3-base Zerg, like, that's perfectly fine, especially when the Protoss is up ahead so much in all these workers. Peppy is sneaking into the main base. He is gonna be scouting the transition, the Twilight Council, and the Forge, but he still needs to a little bit of time, and he needs to stabilize.
He really does. Not just when it comes to the workers and economy, but also tech-wise. He literally only has a Swanning Pool right now. They need a Baneling Nest or a Roach Warren to go toe-to-toe against StarDuck's eventual ground army.
Exactly. I'm really concerned because on top of the fact that there weren't any spores, now there's a spore here at the third. Peppy has stopped queen production. He only has 2, and we've seen how well Void Rays can do. This one lone Void Ray could deal a lot of damage, but we see that StarDuck is switching into Zealots, and Peppy still only has Lings to work with.
Yeah, it's important that Peppy scouts this, but he still doesn't quite know what gateway unit StarDuck's going to be basing his army composition on.
Yeah,
if it's Stalkers, you don't really want Ling Bane, do you? But if it's Zealots, you don't really want Roaches either.
Regardless, you need more than just Lings. He's aware that he should be aware that it is Zealots coming out here, or plus one Blink Stalkers, to be fair, as you were bringing up. But yeah, the longer this goes on, I feel like the better this is a little bit for StarDuck. Thankfully, Peppy is now starting to take his gases. That's also what I was concerned about. And there we go. He does throw down his Roach Warren.
Oh, that's going to be an interesting dynamic against the charge lots. But, you know, Roach is pretty decent, well-rounded unit in general for CVP. He will have to be very wary about choke points, so he needs to find as good... He needs to fight with the best concaves he can get away with.
Exactly. And the best concaves, the best bottlenecks, the best positioning. Meanwhile, Peppy's getting ready to even be more aggressive here, taking out all these rocks. He has a decent amount of queens. He's not stopping queen production, by the way. I think he wants to go for round 2.
Don't entirely blame him here. Yeah, he does need some form of anti-air because, you know, just having the Stargate up and running is a threat here, and Peppy's able to slip on in. That Zealot was not on hold position.
It was not on hold position at all. The Lings, they get in, but StarDuck does not turn around. He's pushing out across the map. Is the timing correct, though? Because, again, the Roaches are coming out just in time for this attack.
That they are, and there are plenty of queens as well, with a whole bunch of transfused energy. You're seeing them land. Starting to try to push up this ramp, but Peppy's already got a very solid position on top of it.
Yeah.
Archon's being as tanky as ever. But they're starting to bleed out.
That they are. Again, Peppy looks like he should be able to just barely push this away. He has the energy. There are the transfuses that we were waiting for. The Warp Prism does barely back off. It doesn't get sniped. And, actually, the Roaches, they've all died. Oh my god.
That they have. Peppy, the supply is saying that he's very much ahead, but that is supply that's still in production. And you always got to remember, with Zerg production, they are going to be very, very scattered. Peppy needs to fight with everything he's got. But he is fighting back very, very well. A lot of queens are still alive. The Warp Prism's in a lot of trouble. I cannot believe that Archon is still alive. Both Archons are still alive.
The unit control here from StarDuck has been insane, keeping everything alive for as long as possible. Finally, one of the Archons does fall, but the Zealots have done so much for him. The Micro keeping this Warp Prism alive as well. And StarDuck, he's slowly pulling it off. He's doing it.
Mate, Peppy just poked the bear here. StarDuck is forced all in, and you never want to go up against a +1 Protoss player who's all in, especially not somebody with as precise control as StarDuck.
Yeah, and now all the queens have gone down. There's no more anti-air here. There's nothing to stop this War Prison from continuing to warp in across the map and reinforce. And at the same time, though, as you were saying, like those Lings went to town, and the worker count plummeted for StarDuck. The Spore.
Oh, we'll be able to get a War Prison one more. Not quite. Oh, a second later, and it would have been taken out. And yeah, StarDuck, his worker count was basically reset, but now he's looking to reciprocate the damage onto Peppy. He's remade a lot of his probes. GG is called. StarDuck is going to take us to our ace match. Yeah, boy.
Oh, GG, well played. That was so close. Like, it looked like Peppy was going to hold, like, with his transfuses, with his roaches that were coming out. I didn't get to see if, I don't think he was supply blocked. But yeah, again, the unit control there. You were surprised as well that the Archons were surviving for as long as they did.
Those roaches and those queens got such a good arc on top of a single Archon, yeah. But there were a couple of Zealots that were able to buffer a little bit of damage, draw the attention away, and oh man. Only one Archon fell in that entire game, I believe. And with that, this is not going to be a 2-0. This is what we were hoping for. We are going to be Oh no. Oh no. I'm getting flashbacks, Light. Because I just saw what map we're having our ace match on.
Oh no, the PTSD, mate. Oh god.
Oh, boy. I am, of course, talking about Jagannatha, which was the ace match of Peppy versus StarDuck in ANZ Champs during the group stage. And Peppy has definitely done a lot of homework since then.
He has. You know, his builds are a little bit more crisper here, and I'm curious to see as well. You know, at one point, is he going to stop building drones, and is he going to pull them as well, like the last game?
That would be the dream. Erebus kicking himself like, I can't believe the minute I learned how to make drones. But regardless, we're going to be concluding the series here on Jagannatha KBBLE. The winner of this, of course, will be going on to the qualifying round, I believe. Yep, one of the qualifying rounds that we have here. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of Jagannatha, we have the red Protoss player coming out for the land of Sydney. He is going to be representing our very own CranKy Ducklings. We have StarDuck.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha ALE, we have the Australian Zerg player. He is green, representing Team Opus V, and this is it. This is the ace match between these two players. It is Peppy.
I was trying to quickly do math here to make sure that what I'm saying is correct. So they're both in the quarterfinals. Yep. Okay. So then they'll be going to semifinals, which will be the qualifying round.
The quarterfinal matches are the qualifying matches. So the winner of this qualifies, right? Yeah.
Wait.
Let's open this up here. Yes, the winner of this match qualifies.
What?
Yeah.
It's a best of 3?
Oh, that's is it a best of 3? That's a good question, Yaku. That's a very good question.
We may not be in the ace match. Never mind. We may be in the king match.
The players don't know. It says right here, qualifying matches are best of 5s. This is meant to be a best of 5. Do they know? Oh no. Oh god.
They should know. They should know. They should know. They look, if we didn't know, I'm hoping they knew. Because look.
Oh my god.
Their math is way better than mine. So I'm optimistic that while we may not have realized, I'm optimistic that they have.
Just to confirm, Quarterfinals are best of 5, correct? Since they are qualifying matches.
We will get our answer soon, TM. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we're getting a qualifying round this early, man. Well, I guess you can get away with that when you have a double elimination bracket, of course.
Okay,
we have 4 players qualifying from the upper bracket and 2 from the lower, if I'm not mistaken. That wall is not a wall.
The wall is not a wall, but the Slowlings will be able to slip in, and the Scouts, can they just barely get in behind the mineral line? It looks like they should. Whew. That they do.
And not a lot of damage to be done here, but again, it's just a very good scout, as you were mentioning, confirms that StarDuck is doing StarDuck things. Peppy even sees there's an Oracle first this time.
Oh, that he does. That he does. So now he should be able to prepare. There we go. Spores are on the way. This time, the Oracles shouldn't deal that devastating damage that we saw earlier. And oh my god. All right. Suddenly, like, I can breathe a sigh of relief here. This isn't the ace match. We got confirmation. This is the best of 5.
We're in the king match.
That we are. I still think that the semifinals may still be played for seeding purposes. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah, it's definitely useful to do that. Of course, it is. Well, traditionally, it has been up to the player's discretion whether or not they want to play that out. Otherwise, they will have to agree who forfeits to whom. Again, just to help out in the seeding.
Yeah, that's what happened last season, where a bunch of players were like, for seeding? We said there were a lot of qualifiers.
I don't want to reveal too many builds yet, you know?
Yeah.
You can take the walkover, buddy. And it's like, no, you can take the walkover. And it's like, no, I insist. I forfeit to you. And it's like, no, I forfeit to you.
Yeah, so very...
People, the admins are just like, make a dang decision already, alright?
Is that your Aussie accent, mate? Oh god, me by the Oracle! Oh god, one more shot! Oh, the queen left! Oh my god!
Against your Protoss opponent.
Exactly, and something that I'm concerned about when it comes to those bases as well is that StarDuck, despite having 2 Oracles, didn't go into the main base. He didn't see the Fast Lair. He didn't see the Roach Warren being researched as well. Like, roaches and queens are going to be coming across the map. Again, the massive highway, and StarDuck, I think maybe now he's realized, maybe, oh god, I don't know, mate.
Well, thankfully for StarDuck, he was intending to go +1 charge regardless, but the timing may be a little bit off here. Peppy is looking to exploit the transition.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting game 1.
StarDuck as he transitions.
I'm getting game 1 flashbacks right now. Like, we had a very similar situation where Peppy's here across the map. He's looking to all in, and StarDuck, now he finally goes into the main, and he's going to scout what's happening, but it's too late. He doesn't even check. Oh, God.
He doesn't even, yeah. I was going to say.
Like, we need more shield batteries. We need more army. Like, there's 0 shield batteries here at the natural.
There are a lot of sentries, which can help a ton in cutting off the army of Peppy, but he needs some way of punishing that too. A couple of quick warp-ins here. StarDuck has plenty of gateways, but he doesn't quite have a bank to really start warping in, and oh my lord, even having the gateways are depowered now. Thankfully, the warp prism at least will make it out. No, it's starting to go down for Queens!
The warp prism does get sniped.
Rally.
The Artosis pylon does depower everything. The boys are being pulled, and Peppy is crushing through the natural base. There's nothing left here. GG gets called.
GG is called. I cannot tell you how relieved I am like that this is a best of 5, because regardless of the result, I didn't want this to be how the series ends. A couple of key mistakes from StarDuck that Peppy, to be fair, did a very good job of exploiting, but it would definitely be anticlimactic if that's how it ended.
It really would. It really would. Oh, and it looks like I'm having an issue here. Can you quickly message the players to wait a little bit? Also confirm that it is a best of 5, because it looks like I may. Oh, okay. We're back.
Oh, you're back? All right, great.
Oh boy.
We are indeed back. But we'll keep our eyes on that drop bear situation. Of the Aussie internet.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. Unfortunately, like, the stream did cut at an awful situation, but it's back. Everyone can see everything. Thank God. And now
What
we
a
are,
thoughts.
yeah, and now we are diving into game number 4.
Indeed, we are. It's a good thing our it's a good thing our players realized it was a best of 5 when we didn't.
Oh god, thank god.
StarDuck
Thank god.
covering for us again.
Mhm.
Saving us once again. Much like he saves Kerrigan.
Mhm. To 60.
It's gonna keep coming up throughout today's broadcast. Like, we haven't been able to cast StarDuck in a while. We have a lot of material here for him.
Yeah, I mean, I was just a little bit distracted, just trying to work on some production things. But talking about that game, it was again very reminiscent to game number 1, where an all-in came and StarDuck had no idea that it was coming until it was in his face. Like, he just, despite having those oracles, he was a little bit too focused on getting drone kills. Which, to be fair, he did get a lot of drone kills, but he gave up scouting information for that.
Yeah, and ideally it wouldn't be either or. Ideally that would be timing where you do go for the damage and then a timing where you go for the scout, but wasn't quite able to do that last game. Things are going to be very different now, though, on Blackburn LE. We're in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have our red Protoss player coming out from the land of Sydney. He is going to be representing ourselves, the team CranKy _ Ducklings, as well as the Twitch channel that you are currently viewing this on, unless you're watching the VOD on YouTube, in which case you were watching it on the YouTube channel that you are currently watching this on. He is StarDuck.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Australian Zerg player. He is currently up in this series 2-1. He only needs one more to qualify and make it into ANZ Champs Season 2. It is Peppy on Opus V.
V4 victory.
There you go. For victory, maybe.
Wait, what does Opus mean?
The Opus?
Yeah, I know what a magnum opus is. That's like a greatest work. Oh, so work. So it's work victory?
There you go. Oh, God.
I know my Latin. Oh, wait, is it Greek? No, I think it's Latin.
But yeah, I mean, speaking a little bit about this game, I am a little bit concerned about StarDuck just because we're on Blackburn. Blackburn, it's a great map for a queen walk, and Peppy, for the most part, has been going for that. I'm worried, mate. Oh, God.
Ideally, we've gotten to the point in the series where StarDuck has recognized how Peppy wants to play out his series, and will be able to adapt accordingly, but we shall see. StarDuck is... I don't want to call him stubborn, but he likes a Stargate style, as well as his chargelets and whatnot.
Yeah,
so.
and to be fair, like, even against these all-ins, you can hold, you can defend when you go for these Stargate openers, even if you commit to Void Rays. Like, you just need to scout and be aware that, hey, I need to start, I need to, like, put my build on hold and start making, stack defense, right? And army units and work on your defenses. It is just something that StarDuck has been lacking.
Indeed it has. Well, we'll see if this game, if he decides to just blindly go defensive.
Yeah,
which wouldn't be a bad idea, seeing as how Peppy's playing.
Yeah, like, sure, you can put yourself behind, like, economically, but just because, like, again, metagame it a little bit, right? Like, because of how Peppy's been playing, that could work.
Yeah, Peppy definitely the type of player who goes with the whole if it ain't broke, don't fix it style. He will play one style until his opponents are able to hold it, and then he'll do something else.
God, that he will. Meanwhile, StarDuck just lost 2 probes there. That's something you don't really expect to see. Meanwhile, there was an Adept across the map attempting to harass, but was unable to get any. Oh no, sorry, did get some drone kills. 1 even.
Here and there.
Oof.
Yeah, very nice reaction from Peppy with those spore crawlers and whatnot.
No!
Almost as again the wall. No! The worst time to plop down the Nexus. StarDuck clicked the button, and then half a second later, the Lings revealed themselves.
I was worried it was going to be a kill, not going to lie, because of how fast it was.
Yep. And the amount of Lings getting this around. But they don't have +1, so it's fine.
Thankfully. Not yet, mate.
Oh, well.
Oh, God. As
they
we do
didn't have +1.
Once again, we have a lot of queens in production, mate. A lot of queens here, and especially because it isn't necessarily a double Stargate opener. Like, these queens are going to be looking to walk across the map. Meanwhile, interesting, StarDuck is committing, and he's getting +1 flyer attacks.
Oh my!
There's the second Stargate.
Giving up on trying to transition. Yup. StarDuck is going back to his roots here. Or I guess not his roots, but what's above the root? Because StarDuck's roots would be like proxies and whatnot. What? No, the tree is StarDuck. The trunk.
There you go.
He's going back to his trunk.
Yeah, and Mike. Okay. Crazy things are happening right now. So we were talking about Erebus, right? And we were talking about how he was looking for his D and he found it. Mate, so was Peppy.
After all these years.
He's found it, mate. He is droning up hard. Like, the Roach Warren and the Lair, like, they're at reasonable times. Like, you know, he's getting his work account, like, higher and higher. He's getting the gold base. Like, we may be looking for a longer game, which is worrisome to me for our Zerg player because of the Mass Void Ray.
Yeah, on any other map, or even on Blackburn, if Peppy took a normal 4th base, I would be inclined to agree, but just because he is getting that that gold base, it may just be a case of set it and forget it. Saturate that gold base, make 0 drones for the rest of the game, focus entirely on army, and keep throwing supply at StarDuck until he cracks. We'll see what he decides to go for here, because you could really go either or.
Yeah, I think what's important is that, again, there's no early aggression from Peppy, so StarDuck, he has time to saturate his 3rd, to tech up, get the fleet beacon, eventually get carriers, and I'm concerned just because I'm pretty sure this is what Peppy wants to avoid. He can still maybe hit a timing before carriers come out, but once they get in high enough numbers, like, suddenly things look really hard for a Zerg player.
That it would, but I think you're onto something, Lightus. Peppy is switching things up significantly this time with that Spire.
Exactly. We'll see if StarDuck is able to scout this. It is hidden in the natural base. Meanwhile, these Void Rays, they want to right-click on that lair.
Oh! There's that prismatic alignment. There's nowhere near enough anti-air to prevent this. Thankfully for Peppy, he's already gotten his tech, but losing the lair just like that is going to be very expensive to replace. Peppy did not sign up for the lair insurance.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Queens with Energy were out of position. They were at the gold base, which, to be fair, right, like, they wanted to protect the gold. But it left the main base exposed.
Literally
and figuratively. Exactly. And the spores, they weren't in position at all, and the lair does go down. But as you said, thankfully, the Spire was already started.
Yeah, you don't need the lair to produce Spire units so long as you already have the Spire up and running, and this is super important for Peppy, as StarDuck is already beginning that carrier production. He needs to get as many Corruptors out as quickly as possible. As many Corruptors he can, as quickly as possible.
Oh, interesting move here. We were busy talking about Corruptors, but instead he's going straight into these Mutas. Mutas have a lot of potential. And again, the Spire hasn't been scouted, right? So we don't have any Phoenixes out. So potentially these Mutas can again deal devastating economic damage.
They really can. Carriers are so slow. They trade really well against the Mutas if the trade actually happens.
Yeah, and the Mutas, oh, it looks like they head towards the 3rd base. Unfortunately, there are already cannons and shield batteries here at the 3rd, shield batteries at the 9th. Oh my god, there's stack defense all over the place. Not at the gold, though.
Yeah, it's looking mighty vulnerable as StarDuck will get a scout on top of that. We'll see how well the control is. Pretty good, but yeah, there's just way too much defenses here for StarDuck for Peppy to feel comfortable enough to commit. He's trying to go for the gold Nexus. Might be able to.
Yeah,
Starts stepping very well.
And it looks like, ooh, he will not. StarDuck just barely holding on to that third base for now, but the muta count is getting larger, and yo, he wants these Void Rays. Oh god.
Fantastic bait and switch coming here from StarDuck. Hurting all of those mutas into carrier range. The ground army of Peppy is trying to get something done, but will be denied. The mutas, at the very least, get that cancel on the gold base.
Yeah, I love it. Utilizing these mutas very nicely here. Again, they're so mobile, and StarDuck, unfortunately, he only has one large army. He couldn't really defend against the ground army and the mutas at the same time, so the gold base was cancelled.
Yeah, it's going to put him behind for a little bit. Peppy has already confirmed the Skytoss army StarDuck's going for, immediately switches to the Corruptors. His mutas are for the most part still alive. So he can still sneak in at any point into the main, into the third, anywhere to try to get some more damage done. Has to be careful about poking the bear though. StarDuck has the better army for now, so yeah, Peppy definitely doesn't want to force him all in too soon.
Yeah, exactly. But again, keeping StarDuck on 3 bases is pretty huge because StarDuck doesn't really have the economy to max out as quickly as he would like. Like, he's still working on it. Meanwhile, Peppy is basically there already. StarDuck, even though he has this Skytoss army, he's lacking in that splash damage, right? Whether it's Storm or Disruptor or whatever to help support his army.
Yeah, a couple of Archons are starting to be produced right now, but considering the short range that they have, it's a little bit less reliable. They can be devastating if your opponent's air army gets too close, but it's definitely a big if.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, that muta cloud is, oh my god, it's insane. He gets into the main base, gets a couple of probes and backs off. Again, like the mutas, they threaten the main. The corruptors, they threaten the fourth base. Like, StarDuck just can't really deal with the harassment. But what he wants to do is just, like, attack head on.
Which he should be able to, especially if he waits a minute or two more. Both players are very close to maxing out, but notice the worker count right now for Peppy.
Yeah.
It's actually really cutting into his army supply.
It really is. Meanwhile, the carriers are exposed. They're all going to go down to the corruptors.
They're so slow. There's only a single Archon, and that is not going to be enough. Can't even throw in some splash damage here on top of the corruptors. What was that? 4, 5 carriers going down for basically nothing.
Jesus.
Fantastic trade here for Peppy.
Exactly, like already an amazing beginning, an amazing start to this engagement, and now StarDuck is going in, but with only 2 carriers? Oh my god.
Yeah, the Void Rays are definitely helping out a ton, as are the Zealots on the ground. The Mutalisks are currently making up the bulk of Peppy's army, but they do not have an easy way of attacking into this army. The Archons are so scary. The one unit that has a shorter range than Archons are Mutalisks, so
oh god,
it's actually really working out for StarDuck here.
Yeah, these 2 Archons are doing so well, just keeping all these mutas back. Maybe a little bit of a mistake investing so much into pure muta, and because of that, Peppy just can't engage with this. One base falls, next is the natural, and then is the main, and this is where all the tech is.
That it is the Hive, the Infestation Pit, the Spire is under a lot of threat. The Archons have finally been dealt with, and there's still plenty of mutas in the skies. But the damage has already been dealt. The lair has gone down. The Infestation Pit too. Luckily for Peppy, well, I say luckily, the Spire is still up, but StarDuck has transitioned pretty much to more of a ground-based army, so
Yeah, and the Zealots still haven't been dealt with. Like, and the Spire, it looks like, oh, just barely it survives, just barely, but now all the drones at the gold base are going to fall as well. Drones in the main have been falling. Peppy, his economy is not looking amazing. At the same time, though, StarDuck, his entire army was essentially reset.
Yeah, pretty much. He has completely lost his Golden Armada, but I'm inclined to believe that's fine because he is transitioning to more of a Charged Archon Phoenix-based composition. One that will be devastating against these Ultras.
We saw how much Peppy struggled against 2 Archons. Now there are 5. That's the thing. Like, mutas are going to do nothing against this with the Phoenixes and the Archons. Oh my god, no! Let's be careful.
That was a good volley. Now, thankfully for Peppy, there's a lot to exploit here when it comes to the map. into dead air, and StarDuck has been on 3 bases for quite some time. Peppy lost a lot of workers, and he lost a couple of bases, but he's still technically ahead.
Yeah, at least when it comes to the base counts, like, I just love that Peppy just keeps denying this 4th base. Like, StarDuck, just expand south. Just give up on the gold, mate. I know how tempting it is. There we go. He's forced a long distance mine from the southern base. And just looking at what Peppy has, okay, these 3 ultras. The ultras, they're going to be so important here to help deal with the Archons.
They really will, but they do still need a bit of a buffer on top of them. I believe the Banaless got sniped a little bit earlier on, so that's going to be even tougher for Peppy to deal with the charge. So the Banaless is still up, but this doesn't quite have the gas to make those Banalings yet.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the 4th base once again was denied, and now the Mutas are just wreaking havoc in the natural of StarDuck. At the same time, the Archons, the Ultras are coming in on their own. Oh my god, they almost get picked off. And the Phoenixes, they're going back home to try and deal with the Mutas.
Oh, don't want to get too close! And thankfully they don't. Peppy is forced back home with his Mutalist. He's dealt a lot of economic damage. We'll see if he can hold, though, against a much more sophisticated army that StarDuck has.
Yeah, and the Ultras
starting to fall.
The Ultras are falling, mate. The Ultras are all going to go down, and now the Phoenixes go back to the safety of the Archons.
Indeed, they do. Peppy, he's microing his heart out here, but in the end, you cannot micro against math.
Oh, God.
All of the Mutas are right on top of those Archons. This is Peppy's final stand. And now he's no longer standing. GG is called. We are getting our actual ace match this time.
GG. Oh, God. Unfortunately, even though Peppy had such a large army, a lot of that army were in those Mutas, and we saw that all it took were a couple of volleys. 3 seconds, and suddenly the Muta cloud evaporated.
Just got popped. Taking out the face of the earth. Just like that. And with that, I cannot wait to see what our ace match is going to be on. We've actually got all of our qualifying rounds happening right now in the upper bracket. Azure versus Vivid, Chase versus Runamok, Peppy versus StarDuck that we are covering, and Chappie versus Piglet are all underway. ATM.
That they are, as we're setting up here. And as I show the bracket on the screen right now, as we can see, all the matches are currently going on. We don't have a qualified player yet, but I'm sure we're about to have some in a couple of moments here, whether it's our series or some of the others that are finishing up. Unfortunately, we most likely won't be able to catch another one of these upper qualifying matches, but we'll try our best.
Yeah, we'll see if that's able to happen. Ideally, we'd be able to follow the player who doesn't qualify here into another qualifier. I'm trying to figure out the math here. So it's 2 from the lower bracket qualify, yeah?
4.
4? So we have 8 players today?
Hold on. Let's double check. I thought it was 8. No, sorry, 6. So 4 from the upper and 2 from the lower.
Right. Okay. Math, man.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. I assumed it was like last season, but it's not because we have invited players.
Oh, we have more invitees, I think. It's not just going to be the top 4. But regardless, we are going to be concluding this qualifying match here on Lightshade LE. We're in the top left-hand corner map. Spotting all the way to the top left-hand corner, we have a red Protoss player coming down from the land of Sydney. He is going to be representing our very own team, the CranKy Ducklings. Every single member of the CranKy Ducklings, whether they're in production here, whether they're casters like Light and I, whether they're Kuro, production, whether they're Steel Mold, or Neo, or Oreo, or Eric, every single one of them, he is StarDuck.
Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Australian Zerg player. He is green, representing Team Opus V. So we're saying we're tied up 2-2, and this is it. This is where it all comes down. One of these players will walk away, qualifying for ANZ Champs Season 2 at the end of this game. Here in the bottom right, we have Peppy. I
know we've got a lot of qualifying spots here, but I mean, just being able to be one of the first players to qualify is such a massive weight off your back.
Yeah. We didn't get to mention it, but my heart goes out to Oreo. If the people in the chat are wondering, exclamation mark B in the chat to look at the bracket, there are some names missing there, and Oreo is one of them. Despite being here this morning, he was here, he was ready, he was in game, he was in the chats, but unfortunately he made a mistake. He had signed up for the wrong brackets, and he didn't know bracket. Yeah, the bracket went live and he wasn't there, and he was like, well, what happened? So yeah, he isn't here today. He will have to come back next week for his final chance to qualify.
But you know what that means, though? He's got one more week to really refine himself.
True.
Like an Oreo. So much
cream?
So much potential there. So much cream, yeah.
Just like an Oreo.
Enough cream for his Diki.
What is wrong with you? Oh god. So yeah, we'll see how things go here. So, oh my god, for the first time this series, StarDuck is not opening up with the Stargate.
Always gotta keep your opponents on their toes. But Peppy, again, being very, very thorough here. He's gotten used to the Stargate style. Oh, never mind. He's not going into the main. He is not going into the main.
Oh, he's not going into the main, even though there was nothing to stop it. And in comes the Stalker. So now there will be zero scouting here for Peppy, unless those slowlings are able to sneak past this, as he was able to in the previous game. But at the moment he's distracted. He has to deal with this Adept.
Indeed, he does. That Overlord might not make it out, but it will.
Yeah, unfortunately the Overlord doesn't get in, and wait, we're gonna have Glaive Adepts. There we go, there it is. And I don't know if Peppy can handle this. Like it's one of those things where the entire series he's kind of been god, what's the term for it, but like he's been he's been forced to react and play in a certain way, but now something else entirely is coming at him.
It doesn't suspect a thing at all.
Oh god,
has plenty of opportunity to sneak around the vision as well. Peppy, it seems like he's got a couple of lings in the middle of the map.
He does. They're slowly chipping away at these rocks. What's scary is that there's no Roach Warren. There is creep trying to connect the third base to the natural, but again, we don't have that much creep spread here. He's just relying on queens and lings against the depths. Like that's not ideal.
It really is not. More Prism moving across the map like a shark in the water. Some Jaws music's playing right now.
God. Meanwhile, the Lings, they test the waters here at the front line. They see a Stalker, and that is it. Meanwhile, War Prism is here. And so are the Adepts.
And this is a massive surprise for Peppy. Very quick pull on the drones, but he's got to be kicking himself a bit. Inside of the Roach Warren, but he does have a lot of larvae. He is trying to make as many lings as possible. He needs to get those surrounds.
Yeah, exactly. The Roach Warren is now on the way immediately as soon as he saw the Adepts, but the Adepts have already dealt some damage. Oh my god, no, the transferring drones!
Will get taken out. He did not think that StarDuck was going to commit to that shade.
And even more drones are going to go down. StarDuck, he sees the Roach Warren that's on the way, and he's already getting ready for it. We have Immortals being produced here. One already completed for StarDuck.
Along with 5 more gateways. That is a full-on gateway explosion coming down.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, the Lings are trying to catch the reinforcing Adepts, and they do, sure. But now there's no mining here in the main. Queens are finally... Oh my god, no! There were a couple of drones that were popping out as well.
Yeah, unfortunately. There's an awkward rally situation going on there when you use up your larva for the drones, and you don't really get to control where they spawn from.
Yeah, and now all the Lings have been taken out as well, so there's nothing to stop these Adepts either. There are Queens here in the main base, sure. He does commit to the shade, and now these Adepts can finally be dealt with, or some of them at least. Oh god.
21 more quick kills. 22.
We're gonna have more.
That's an III if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and what's
What's
III?
up, coming? Here come the.
Yep.
Here come the Immortals.
Here come the Immortals. This is the killing move for StarDuck. The 1-2 punch. The third base will fall, and now the Immortals are here to help deal with the roaches. There are some roaches and some queens. Maybe with Transfuse and Biles, like Peppy can hold on to his natural.
That's definitely gonna be a big maybe here. Biling a couple of his own Zerglings by mistake. That's always an III as Peppy, he's not exactly being pinned to a corner, but StarDuck is trying to make it a corner with those force fields.
That he is. Meanwhile, the majority of the links have already been dealt with. The queens don't have that much energy. I think there's only one transfuse remaining, if that. And that is gonna be all she wrote, mate. GG gets called.
StarDuck is gonna be our first player qualifying for ANZ Champs Season 2. The Kerrigan survival, pay it off!
No, don't say that. It's because of Kerrigan's survival that this series was as close as it was, mate. It went all the way down to the wire, went all the way to the ace match. There were moments there where StarDuck was struggling, and I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen here? In the end, I'm happy for him. Congratulations, StarDuck, for qualifying for ANZ Champs. Was there ever any doubt? I had some doubt.
I could sense some very real, like, frustration in your rant there. It shouldn't have been close. The Kerrigan survival to it.
You know, in the chat, exclamation mark from out of StarDuck. He just messaged me. He said, all right, time to go back to some Kerrigan survival too. Oh my god.
You know what? Might as well for the rest of the day, but come tomorrow. You know what you gotta do, StarDuck. You gotta prepare for ANZ Champs, but you can celebrate the victory.
Yeah, very good. Like, despite the memes, the Kerrigan survival 2 memes, congratulations, StarDuck. We're proud of you. Like, you made it through. You didn't even have to go through the lower bracket, so you have as best seeding as you can get here. Congratulations.
Pretty much, straight up the first player to qualify. I'm not sure if the timing of qualifying affects the seeding. It probably doesn't, but it's something. Not many people can really say that they're the first to qualify.
Yeah, not many people can say that at all, and now StarDuck can. So again, congratulations for making it through. And if you're a Peppy fan, like I saw MJ in the chat, the Opus V boys, he has another chance. There is a lower bracket. You know, he's not out of the qualifier by any means.